Hey everybody, this is Epic Fox, and we are back for part 2 of Battle of the Bulge conflict series. You may be able to hear the F-16s flying over my house right now. Maybe not. But here we are. I'm going to drop the speed just a little bit to catch up on what's going on here real quick, and then we're going to kick it right back on up. We aren't running at normal 100% speed here. I still have it zoomed up, and the decision making was taking, you know, a little chunk of time here and there, so I don't want to force you guys to sit through there and watch some inaction for a couple minutes or however long it may be. But you can see the situation here is pretty much still the same. The 101st Airborne is still right there trying to push its way up north to Bastogne, where the 82nd Airborne is, and you know, it's been up and down in that area. The 25th is still there, stacked up down there somewhere, and it looks like they have a whole nother front pushing in on Bastogne. They're up their top force up above where we're at right now. I think in this area they're pretty much done mopping up my forces. Let's see what those tank destroyers can do with the SS. Now we got 2 units of SS there, but you know, breaking through my forward lines wore them out pretty good, and they took some heavy losses, it looks like, but we will see. So then yeah, you just got a bunch of mobilization by the Germans here. Looks like they're trying to cut off a lot of my forces, and those SS way off in their front lines, looks like they're just trying to make a break for it. They must have some sort of special orders to not stop until they reach a certain objective, who knows. Looks like we're gonna be pushing off their Panthers back, and they're down in the red now, so that's a good thing. And now the 82nd, no, the 101st. The 101st is now in the red, but it's managed to push up almost all the way to Bastogne, but they're going to run all into some heavy numbers of German infantry down there just south of Bastogne, so I'm anxious to get back down that direction. And that looks like my last stand right there. Get some infantry down here to help out these tank destroyers. And we're going to push them off, and then we're going to take a loss. I knew I shouldn't have proceeded. They need those infantry there. And you can see I've rescued them right there, finally. It's pretty much too late. We need to get them to a town and rest them. They will regain hit points in a rear town. And we got some more reinforcements coming in the south, which is good, but it's not where I need them. And the 82nd is just dealing it out. Oh, that was glorious. The 82nd down there in Bastogne. I'll tell you what, here's the 25th, and they're gonna push those guys across the river. I'm probably gonna have to pursue them across, because if I don't, then I have to take those other reserves down there in the bottom off screen barely, and take them over and then recapture that objective, which now we got the SS sealed off. And we have a communications breakdown there in Liege, as you can see. So it's time to mobilize. You can see we got some heavy German armor coming up there on the 2nd supply zone. So if we lose that bridge, that whole area, that whole region in the supply zone, in the 1st supply zone, is going to get cut off, and anybody on the other side of that bridge as well. and that is not a good thing. That will lose the battle, I believe. So we're fighting, we're gonna fight our way, try and fight our way just across this northern area here from right to left, and now you can see what's really in there. And now we got some more SS appearing. They just retook Liege with some Tiger tanks that look like heavy armor division. We do have a stacked up infantry division here, fresh to their reserves. I'm not sure what division it is. You can see we just got a tank division surrounded. We're going to try and work them down. I don't think they're going to be able to get out of there. The airborne is now going to find themselves in the middle of a rescue mission, and it's going to have to be quick. That artillery is all alone on that bridge. Artillery in a minefield. Down in Liege, it looks like they're trying to make a push back to their lines, back to Liege. I don't think they're going to make it. It is some SS though. They could. Down here, you can see they're starting to bust through. I do have a thick line of minefields up there, so hopefully that's going to funnel them down to the opening there. And I do have some reserves coming in from the south, so that's one thing I'm going to have to look at here in a minute. As you can see, I've picked the speed back up again. So we're going to finish off those SS while we have a full division of infantry down there, but we got to make it quick because that infantry has to move right back up to supply number 2. And we're losing battles with that airborne unit. I'm not sure if that was the 82nd or 101st, but they're down in the red. I have to assume that's 101st because they were in the red not too long ago. So the 25th will pursue across the river like I mentioned earlier, and that will allow those reserves to move up north and try and relieve the airborne units. We have some more artillery back here. We're going to move forward. It doesn't have too far to go actually by the look of things. And these lone survivors down here are handling it. I don't think they're gonna. They got those heavy. They got those in the red. So somehow they managed to bust them down with some bazookas or whatnot. Tank destroyers are going to get pushed back. It doesn't look like they lost a hit point though, but they did fall back. That's okay. I do have a depleted infantry unit right there above Liege and a full one right to the left of them. I still got to worry about that 3 SS, that 3 hit point SS below Liege. They're notorious for getting movement, and if he reconnects with his lines, he'll be able to move right back to one of his rear lines. 5 more turns, he'll be, you know, almost full SS division back at my throat. So it looks like we've made some serious progress with the airborne. I don't know how permanent or temporary it may be, so more reserves that we're going to use. That's a good thing. They came in right in front of that little spearhead. We're going to drop a mine down in that tank and slow them down, stop them. I think the infantry can stop that tank. And up north is, I think, our problem area, what we're going to have to worry about here. I got some infantry, the 4th, I believe that may be, no, the 83rd. The 83rd might get surrounded. We're going to have to try and back them out as quickly as possible. We'll see if they get surrounded right here. We're moving into turn 31. So the 100 and that was the 82nd Airborne is the regiment that's good to go. We're going to have to pull the 101st back into town here and clear out enough space to where they can get some quick rest and get back up to full hit points here so they can get back out on the field. They are a vital unit, and I just don't see myself winning this mission without them. Up north, I gotta look for something that's gonna change the tide of this battle. Up top. Now they got SS assaulting the bridge to the second supply zone. So now they got a full unit of German infantry that just crossed the river. They're going to be on the move here pretty soon. So we're going to take that armor division, as you just saw, move it north, try to cut off the supply lines of their main invasion. Hopefully their whole army group is passed, and I'm just going to roll up north with as many units as I can and try and cut off as many as I can in the quickest time frame as possible. We have kicked up the speed quite a bit. You can see that lone unit of infantry over there is just still hanging in there at the center point in the upper left right now. It's just a tough crowd, that bunch. Near Liege, it's looks like we may have gotten some reinforcements up there. We'll take another look in a minute. And the 83rd is going to push its way maybe out of that jam up there in the north. The 83rd could be that game changer that I was just asking for. They are fully stacked. They look like they're in good health. I thought they were lost because they were going to get surrounded, but they just had a major victory. And but now they're in the thick of it again. They just got cut off. So the lone unit over on the left, I don't know who that is. I think if it's the 4th, I'd be amazed. I don't think it is. We'll see. The 25th is still doing amazing work down south. 101st is going to move up and move back into the town here and see if they can get some rest. 82nd has marched straight up into the middle of Germans. They have hit a full infantry division and some depleted German armor to both sides of them. So those combat modifiers from the depleted German armor could still be a game changer for them. So I do want to be very particular on how I use the 82nd right now. And we're not going to be able to break through to those lines. You can see we just tried to break through and we got shot up by some unknown regiment or division to the south. And it's just not looking good. Just keep on placing minefields. We still have a supply line to that armor and that artillery, and that's vital to maintain at this point. And the 83rd is in a big jam, and they are going to get a movement point, and they busted out with a victory on another unit, but I don't think it's going to be good enough. We got another division of armor coming up in, and we did get some reinforcements there of some infantry, and I don't think they'll have any big issues dealing with that SS, but you never know. They could have some combat factors standing right behind them that I'm unaware of. You have next to no scouting or reconnaissance in this scenario, so other than unidentified markers being able to reconnoiter with artillery or B-17s, but that's about it. That's the extent of it. So we've made some serious progress in the south now, thanks to the valiant efforts of everybody, but most notably the airborne and their supporting armored divisions. leads me to believe that there just must be an immense amount of playtesting during the development of all of these conflict series scenarios, because the way the action unfolds, you don't know what's going to happen, but it's like it's almost historical what's going to happen. It's crazy, but no, they're really cool games. I would recommend almost all of them. I haven't played all of them yet. I own almost all of them, and some are very, very hard. This one, Battle of the Bulge, is turning out to be pretty difficult. I'm going to withdraw that armor. They're very next to nothing, and see if I can get them across that bridge and get them some rest. I don't know if the SS will be cleared out by then, so we may have to just ford across the river and take the negative movement. You can see my last hope infantry just got beat back out of there, and I think we're going to lose that first supply zone for good here, unless something can come up from the south. And we got multiple units down in the town there down south, but we still got to push out the enemy control zones. Their rest is being disturbed, so I guess they can't rest and get resupply if they can hear artillery and gunshots in the distance. No, it's more to deal with supply lines and the capability of the enemy to harass your rear line. Your immediate rear line is not safe from assault. So I get the logic in it. I really do. And we have trapped off this infantry, which has helped our troops up here quite a bit. So you can see that just cutting them off did some damage, and we'll be able to finish them off. So we're just going to try and hold this bridge. That's about all we can do. I do intend to win, though. I can tell you that. And you can see I have some divisions, some infantry that have pulled off some amazing feats. And all across the south, it looks like we're pushing them in pretty good, which confirms my belief that their main assault was up north there. And I think that I dealt a significant amount of damage to them during their central assault, their spearhead. But that northern end of my line has completely collapsed. I'm pretty much at my last spot that I'm going to be able to hold out on. As you can see, the 101st and the armor, they're now getting some rest in there. Not yet, though. They're green because their rest is prepared, but I need to clear out some more of that enemy-controlled hexes. You can see those random hexes there. Those are too close to Bastogne for that rest to be completed. And so every turn that those aren't in my control is just absolutely killing me. The 101st sitting out, and it's just ridiculous. But they did so much work, it's amazing. So I've lost it up north. It's out of hand. And now it looks like they're... Okay, they have some action going on in the south. Looks like some sort of counterattack going on. And we're going to trap this SS off and just try and pound them away. And finally we knock them out of the way of the bridge. And I did forward that armor across the river there a couple turns ago, actually. And it took them that long to recover from that negative movement. 82nd is still just clearing out town to town, forest to forest, walking on up the road. The 82nd goes. Only because the 101st saved them, though. No, overall I'm impressed with things in the south, but they got some hefty reinforcements, and the route at which they approached from and arrived on was very direct and allowed me to establish immediate contact with the enemy. So I think that had another big part to do with it. I mean, the airborne were dead alone 1 minute, and then they had several armored divisions there pretty soon. So, and a lot of that also had to do with the 25th Infantry down there, still down there. They're finally going to start moving their way up. It took them a while to deal with that infantry down south, and you can see there's still one remnant of one. I think I'm just going to keep on marching them up. It's too late to turn around and go back after them. I'm going to bank that I got some sort of reinforcements that are going to be able to deal with that depleted German infantry. And we have some remnants of some German armor up there, pretty much everywhere. And that was a mistake. I tried to kind of reconnoiter there off the bridge and got hit pretty hard for it. And that armored division over there, they put in a lot of work and they got trapped out there. There's a possibility of rescue. You can see I have some seriously heavy armored divisions rolling in now, which is gonna help out a lot. I really got to get them up north though. That's the thing. And there's so much stuff around up there in that central area, I can't even tell what town they're fighting over. So you can see the lone survivors. They're just they held on to the rear lines way in the back there by themselves. We saw it through part 1 and through part 2, and now they're just marching to the front now. They got 4 hit points right there, and they're going to follow in behind that armor division with that artillery right behind them. And you can see down here where we're at, there's just a lot of stuff going on. We're losing battles, we're winning battles. It's just hard to tell what's a good matchup and what's not, because I have such limited information of what's standing behind or what's positioned behind the frontline German forces. And I have not seen any artillery, and I have not seen any artillery warnings on the in-turn display or actions by artillery. So, but I do know the Luftwaffe is very active at suppression and blasting me. I don't think they've had any significant damage done. It's mainly movement points that hurt. You can see I'm going to move the 101st out. They're going to move south from Bastogne. I'm not going to receive those reinforcements I was hoping for just quite yet, so I had to make a move here. And it looks like we're going to start moving in here and reclaiming some of our territory, but mainly it's going to be all about working our way up north. I do think we've gotten some rest in on one of the infantry units, and we still have another good solid infantry unit up there. So we may be able to get a little bit of momentum going. You can see down in Liege I got some rest going, so that's a very, very good thing. If I can get that guy even up to 4 or 5 hit points, that'll be a lot of help. and I'm just going to move to try and cut those guys off and then halt that other unidentified enemy. And the armor is moving in. Yes, they are. And we have another unit of airborne that's arrived. So I think the Germans, yeah, see this northern area, we're on the edge up here. We're walking on eggshells, and there's a lot of bullets flying up there. We got to get these up here. That armor and artillery needs to get up there. And if we can cut off whatever forces are assaulting that bridge, I think we got a good chance of securing this and wrapping it up. It's all about handling the north right now. This battle is gonna be won or lost in the north right now, is the way it looks. And we have regained a little bit of ground, but then we got halted. So we're gonna see if we can give out any sort of support. Anybody who has mortars or bazookas, I mean, we're scrounging for everything. You see 1 hit point on that infantry. We're scrounging for equipment, ammunition, manpower. We're finding, are there any cooks on the back line? We give them a rifle, get them up here. 101st is going to move in, and there's going to be another battle in the south, it looks like. And there is a danger of this infantry and this armor getting cut off. And we just lost a battle. That's not good. We got pushed back into 1 square. Looks like we got 2 full infantry divisions and another unidentified. That force could easily be surrounded. Things could take a turn in the south very fast right here, and I'm not too pleased with that. As you can see, we're going to have a further delay. We got we're running into some German armor. Actually, that might be a good thing. That sucker might have been on his way back to rear town to get some rest. I don't know. Or maybe it was just trying to delay us. Maybe the Germans think by sacrificing that armor that them taking that bridge will be possible. It looks like the Germans are just going to try and move around me or surround me, and I need to stop that from happening. I'm going to lay down a minefield, another minefield. That way, in case they push off that depleted infantry and destroy my 2 artillery units, there is still that minefield there to halt them. And we still got the speed cranked up. This guy down in Liege is now in the green, so he's going to be good to go. We're going to move him out right now. You can see I'm getting a lot of rest up here by the U.S. second supply zone. It's time to move. We have to get this done. I think the Germans withdrew to rest a lot of their soldiers. They have the room to do it, and we need to take it away. And you can see there's some SS. We have not chopped them down. There is still SS running around, so that is a good thing to know. And we got to get these rear forces up here. These are fresh. The 101st is gonna retake that objective and keep on marching. So in here, looks like the 25th and that armor. The 25th got a victory. The armor took a hit. So it's swinging back and forth down there in the south. But I'm still a lot more comfortable with that situation down here than I am with the north. I have a lot more forces in the south, a lot more options for rest, and the situation is just not so urgent. At some point, I think I'm going to have this area down here contained. And if I can get the majority of my forces past their last defense there, I can get in and take those objectives. That's what I need to start doing. If I can't defend this bridge up here, which every turn it's looking a little better up here, but if I can't defend this bridge, what I have to do is I have to be faster than the Germans at taking their big objectives, these yellow supply bases that they have, and any other high point objectives. And I need to do it faster than they're taking objectives, and that's, but end of the line is Brussels. If they get to Brussels, it's over. And that very well may have been that those SS divisions, main objective was just to, smash the gas all the way there. You can see they had some infantry in this area as well. We're still getting delayed down in, from going up north here, but we got all sorts of guys marching in now. We got an airborne unit getting ready to move up in support, and that's nothing but a good thing here. We have located that SS division that was assaulting the bridge. It looks like it looks like my heavy armor up there in the north, they just ran into a large amount of withdrawing forces, and I think that was just great timing on my part, completely by accident, but that's of no consequence here. We have another, with a lot of movement points, we'll go ahead and jump him real fast, but we had another heavy tank division coming in, so we're gonna hit that SS. And as you can see, they're sneaky. The SS are highly maneuverable. You hit them, and you think you're gonna push them straight back, and they end up almost behind you. And now finally, yeah, that armor's still not being able to get through. I thought after pushing out that infantry, they'd finally have a shot at laying down some rounds on those bunkers, but it just wasn't the case, and now those tanks are down in the red. So if I can just clear out a little bit of those hexes and that last pocket of German infantry right below there, I think I can move them back and get them some rest very fast, but I don't know how high the chances of that are happening. Right now it's just both sides are putting in everything they have everywhere across the field, and there's nowhere where there's just skirmishes going on. These are all out battles all across the map here, and we're going to get some crushing victories here, and that is a very good sign. We just recaptured Eupen, it looks like, and this SS division is just withdrawing. I don't think we're going to get a chance to hit that. We just got to wear them out. Hopefully our guys don't tire down first and won't be able to catch them. The good thing is we got this armor division right here that I'm going to use them to retake some of them objectives in the north. So they're going to handle that SS. That's the first thing on their checklist. And we're going to arm up whatever we can here. Turn 51. It is moving quite fast, and we're just pounding away here. We're trying to, get some sort of rotation system going on with the rest and the assaults, and it's just too difficult. There's a lot of enemy territory around us that we haven't secured, and we don't know if there's anything there. So our supply, command is hesitant to send in half tracks and deuce and a halves, or whatever. And we're gonna have a toe-to-toe matchup. They have a full unit of Tigers now, fully healed, fully rested. That's exactly what they were doing. I'm very fortunate that my heavy armored division while it was attempting to go up north there from that road, ran straight into their withdrawing forces, because that's exactly, they sacrificed those 2 infantry units up there to delay us so they could get everybody down and rest them, and we just ran smack dab into a full heavy German armor division, which is a very bad thing. So we have a heavy armor division that's going to go toe to toe with them. And the deciding factor, hopefully, will be the fact that I have other forces there, infantry, other supporting arms that we're going to combine and see if we can knock those tanks out. Let's pop those buttons. And I've been surrounded now here. After a long and hard fight there, we're going to end up withdrawing, it looks like. But we have the airborne that's moving right in. This is just back and forth. I will tell you, it's very difficult. It's not the most difficult conflict series game that I've played, but it is difficult. I wouldn't recommend it if you're just starting off with a conflict series and you're interested in the Battle of Bulge, you know, the German offensive in Ardennes and any similar things like that that would lead you to this specific scenario. I would highly suggest starting off with a different one, although, you know, it could only make you better. And you can see we're going to recapture Espen, which has been going back and forth here. And we're pushing that infantry back to the U.S. first supply zone in the north, and we'll see if we can recapture that. We got some healing armor in the back. Give me some hot heals, baby. So the question is, and now you see another full German German infantry division right there, and another one up above there. So the question is, how much rest did they get? How many divisions? How many units? And look at this guy. Where did he come from? I don't know, but he retook. He ran through Liege, probably ransacked it, shot up some people on his way out there. And it's just they're everywhere. So we have to be wary of just moving forward, because if we move forward with a unit that doesn't have any combat support and we run straight into a fully refreshed German division, we're going to take some serious crushing defeats, and that's going to completely turn this battle. Tank destroyers, this battle group up here is just going to keep on pounding away. You can see that those German heavies are still on the front with green health. They are a significant foe. But we're across the river now with the armor. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. They might have just, as you can see, they ran into a full German infantry division, so I think we're just dropping a lot of fatigue, or excuse me, a lot of relief on these guys having their fatigue and getting them prepared for this final push. I think that's what command's getting ready to call for. At this point, I don't know if there's going to be a better opportunity to just go all out, which I honestly, in reality, that's what I've been doing now for quite a while. I've been going all out, so the strategy's not really going to change from here. I need to take over that supply depot so I can focus on other things. And I don't know how well those are, you know, if the German is receiving any benefit from that or not, I don't know. But another big concern of mine is those objectives to the right of that supply depot over in the top right corner of the mini-map. Any objectives up there are prime resting areas. I mean, the Germans can disappear up there and they're completely out of the battle. He could have a whole army up there resting at this point in time, and I have no idea about it. You can see I just had a low battery warning, so we're going to go on. The commander feels that there's enough juice to finish it. And we are pushing it. We're looking good down in the south. The airborne division way down in the south, I think that's 101st. Still just pushing. So there's the 82nd. So that means, yeah, that is the 101st down below. 82nd is clearing out that central area. They're just going on a rampage, and that's what they've been doing. They haven't stopped. I have hit them with a couple. You do get some airborne reinforcements as a resource, which is +1 hit points to your airborne divisions, and I believe the 82nd Airborne was the recipient of those a couple times, and that's why you saw the 101st get so depleted and have to withdraw, because the 82nd was fighting in Bastogne, and that's, you know, that was where it was needed, and that's who got it. And that did, you know, allow the 101st to get up to them. You can see the 82nd up there is, I think, 100% fatigued. I don't have any first aid, I don't think. That's all. So the artillery is just pounding away into those cities. I don't really know how effective the artillery was in this game. I didn't get much. Well, up north, they were a factor. I can tell you that. There was some key things that I did with them. In the end, you know, the supply depot ended up getting taken anyway. But you know, a lone artillery regiment slowing a infantry division down for 3 or 4 turns was a good feat. And it looks like we've finally now been able to start combining some arms on that German heavy armor, and we're going to push them back. But you can see we took a hard loss, and then we turned around and used an infantry hit point on one of those units. Big pocket of German infantry in there. Got some German armor, maybe a bunker, unidentified unit, another full infantry division right behind them. Yeah, they were trying to rest up. Man, oh man, were they trying to rest. I can't call it yet. 4th Armored Division. Looks like it took a loss. But I can't call it yet, but things are looking brighter. I'm still worried about any German forces. See, right, I was just getting ready to say, in the upper right area back here in these areas, I don't know if they managed to get any rest in. So these guys were pretty far back here, and it looks like they have a mixed elements of fully rested, partially rested, and not rested at all. Ooh, man. I don't know if you just saw that, but the 82nd, they just took an absolute beating. The 82nd Airborne, I mean, they got hit. Ridiculous. We're going to slow it down just a little bit. This game is getting ready to end, but I do want to see that 82nd down there. That is a bad sign down there. I don't know. I think it was some German infantry that hit them. The 9th is going to keep on approaching from the center, but you can see right here. Oh, was that the 101st again? That was the 101st again. And we're going to drop any reinforcements we can on whatever. And the Germans are going to continue their assault on that on the airborne in that town. This is we might lose the center up there again, where we pushed all the way to the edge. We're going to reinforce them, bring up some armor right into town. Give them help, boys. What are you gonna do? Oh, the 101st pulled it off. Busted up 101st, pulled it off, and they pushed back that assault with the counterattack. 101st counterattacked in just 80 seconds, now pushing forward. And we are at the gates. Things are looking good. Questionable, but good. I think this is the only point in this entire battle where, oh geez, see, every time I open my mouth, this is exactly what I was talking about. Forces in the upper right corner of this map. What disappeared back in this area? What is back there in that final objective? Will I even have to take them? If I just take these main supply points right here, will that knock them down to 9 or less? '101st is still going forward. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and they are paying off. Fourth Armor just fought off that infantry unit. 82nd up there is still just marching out alone, so we're going to send up some artillery with them. Hopefully give some combat factors. And we are getting some victory points now. We're snatching them from the Germans. And I think so. There's only these towns up here are only worth a couple victory points, it looks like. So if I grab these main ones down south, I think I can get away with not engaging whatever forces they may or may not have in that area right there, because I don't know how good it looks. It looks like that infantry who were trying to get some rest when I walked in there, they just scattered like roaches in every direction. They're just withdrawing non-stop from the assaults here. And now it looks like I got them pinned down here. I can't just stand around. I gotta take them out. And we're making some good progress now. Good progress. I smell the fear in the air. 82nd's gonna push up to the edge of the river. They haven't made it across yet though. I don't know if I really want to do that. That tank and that infantry division up top may be able to take there. But 101st is, oh, they're gonna lose one there. And but the 101st, they were just pushing and pushing. They did finally take a loss. I think they tried to assault German heavy armor. Yes, that's what it was. And the 82nd has the same right below them, except it's fully healed. We got a fully fresh German armor right there. Looks like some Panthers actually. And they attempted an assault on the 82nd Airborne. And you can see we got some more in the far south. We have some more German infantry attempting a breakout here. I'm not entirely worried about that, but it is still a concern. There could be 3 other divisions with them, all of them full, who knows. So we're moving. So I did want to slow it down, just take a close look at who's gotten, hit so hard, and kind of let you take a peruse across the battlefield real quick. Everything's been such a fast pace, and there is not much longer left on this battle, I hope, and we're hoping we have the manpower to finish this off. I believe we do. So let's go ahead and crank up the speed a little bit here till we come to a conclusion, shall we? Alright, we'll crank it right on back up and finish it up here. So you can see we're starting to have some trouble here with these last objectives. 101st, even still wounded and depleted, they're still pushing it, and they have put on so much damage on the Germans. It's unbelievable, and they have marched all the way from one end to the other. Monschau has fallen. That's a very good sign. It was undefended. And the question is what is up here? Looks like we're going to hit some bunkers. And the 82nd is going to push forward, along with the 4th Armored Division. The 11th Armored Division is in there. The 101st is down below. They spearheaded across that river, and you can see the Luftwaffe is still active. And now we're going to find out real quick what's in these cities. So we'll bring up the heat. Thankfully we got a lot of artillery and other things there to support. So it's time to go down here, and we're going to do a final assault. And I'm hoping with the capture of these next couple of objectives down south here that we're going to be able to end this battle. 101st is going to move up. 4th Armor is going to take out those German armor. We're going to take a loss assaulting there. We got to take out those. Oh, and the 82nd does. The 82nd, just as I was talking about them, they just push right across and nail that German armor. I don't know if they completely destroyed that or what, but you can see now they got some Panthers on the run there that managed to get healed. And I still don't know if there's anything there or not. It looks suspiciously empty. I've been scarred from things just like that in these conflict games before. A crushing defeat upon entry of that town would not surprise me, but we'll see. And the 82nd is going to march right up to the doorsteps. They got the weapons, they got the heat to do it, and the heavy armored division is going to roll up just to the north of them and take that last objective up there, right there, and we are now on turn 69. And there is going to be a resistance here. We don't know what they are yet, but they are right smack dab on top of us, or we may be on top of them, who knows. And we're still just pushing, and now we got it. We got this objective surrounded, and we're going to give the honor to the 82nd Airborne. Let's see what we can do. The 101st is moved up there as well. The 4th Armored Division is going to hit, the 11th is going to hit, and here goes the 82nd. Here it is, and we got and we captured it. So I think the math looks good here, and we just captured another objective. And if we can take that one, and we did, so I think this is going to do it. And I'm amazed that this got done. There was a couple times, actually several times, that I did not think it was going to go down. And you can see the Germans still have a big, thick pocket of resistance here, but I think it's done. The Germans are going to get one more turn, it looks like, try and take back one objective. I just don't think that's going to happen, and it's going to end. And we got on the leaderboard in 70 turns. I don't know how high that's going to be here, but good game. Like I said, if you're new to the conflict series, maybe, maybe not. I'm not quite sure what the unit tally, how to read that is, but doesn't look like I keep track of my airborne divisions, and that's what I was most interested in. So, thanks for taking the time to watch this lengthy 2-part battle, Battle of the Bulge. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's take a look at the leaderboards real quick, and we're on normal difficulty. So let's see how many turns: 17, 20, 65, 67, 70. Epic Fox right there, number 46, 46th place. Not bad for the blind run with a game that probably has a couple thousand people playing it, if not more. Who knows? But I did enjoy your company, and feel free to hit the like button and check out my other videos. Epic Fox is out.